In light of theme of PES Day 2021 Clean Energy Revolution, IEEE IUT SB in support with IEEE Robotics and Automation Society IUT Student Branch Chapter has organized the webinar entitled IoT and Cloud-Enabled Renewable Energy for Rural Development. Before starting this session, I would like to point out a few regulations to our participants. This entire session will be conducted in English. If you have any queries or questions to ask, you can do so at the question answer segment organized at the end of this session. At the very end of the session, you will be provided with a link to a Google form, which you will have to fill up to get your e-certificates. Now, I would like the participants to introduce themselves in the Zoom chat box by writing their university name and department name. And if you are an international student, please state the name of your country as well. Now, I would like to request the branch counselor of IEEE IUT Student Branch, Dr. Rakibul Hassan Shagor Sir, Associate Professor of IEEE Department of Islamic University of Technology, to inaugurate this session. Shagor Sir, if you may please.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone, right? On behalf of the IEEE IUT Student Branch, I welcome you to this webinar on IoT and cloud-enabled renewable energy for rural development. At the very beginning, I would like to express my gratitude to the keynote speaker, Dr. Ashok Dash, founder CEO of SunMoksha Power Pvt Limited, and Dr. Celia Shahnaz, chairperson IEEE Bangladesh Section. We are really honored to have you with us today. I do not have much idea on IoT, but what I know about IoT, that everything that can be connected can be brought on a single internet-based platform. And I can say I am one of the users of IoT-enabled devices. The security cameras installed in my house are IoT-enabled, and it has given me enormous controllability that wherever I am, even I am in Dhaka or Gazipur, even I am outside of this country, as long as I'm connected with the internet, I can have a certain type of control over those devices. I was surfing the website of the SunMoksha Pvt Limited, and I'm really delighted to see that the company is working in rural areas. And I hope today's session will be very helpful for the participants as well as for me. I'm not going to prolong my speech as we are eagerly waiting to listen from our guest speaker and the keynote speaker. Finally, I would like to thank all the members of IEEE IUT Student Branch who are working really hard to arrange different programs for common good. As Dr. Celia said, that this is one of the most active IEEE Student Branch in IoT, and they are working since long. I was also a student of IoT back in 2004, and in our time, we used to have a lot of programs with this IEEE banner. I want to give special thanks to Dr. Celia Shahnaz, chairperson of IEEE Bangladesh Section, for her time and effort to arrange this program. And as the world is saddened by the COVID-19 pandemic, last year we could not drive the IEEE membership program up to our expectation level. So what we are doing, we are planning, IEEE IUT Student Branch is planning to arrange a good number of events targeting the skill development of the current students, as well as to encourage them to be the part of this largest community. Inshallah, within the next 15 days, IEEE Student Branch will arrange a quiz program. We expect that we'll get support of the IEEE Bangladesh Section in this regard as we got on earlier days. With this few words, we'll listen. I'm concluding my speech, and I'm inaugurating this program. Hopefully, all the participants and all the members will get benefited by this webinar. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Shagor sir, for your heartwarming speech. We have among ourselves the chairperson of IEEE Bangladesh Section, Dr. Celia Shahnaz ma'am. Currently, she is serving as a professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering in BUET, from where she has received her BSc and MSc degrees in 2000 and 2002 respectively. She has published more than 150 international journal conference papers. 1,447 people have cited her papers till now. She is the founding chair of We Affinity Group of IEEE BDS, for which she is currently acting as an advisor. She is the recipient of the 2019 Region 10 Humanitarian Activities Outstanding Volunteer Award, 2016 MGA Leadership Award, 2015 We Inspiring Member Award, 2013 Region 10 We Professional Volunteer Award. Her research interests include the areas of deep learning, pattern recognition, and machine learning for audio, video, biomedical, and power signals, and signal processing for speech analysis. Now, I would like to request Dr. Celia Shahnaz ma'am to say a few words regarding today's session.
Thank you, Sanjana, for a very humble introduction. We are here today to listen to Dr. Ashok Dash, expert in the solar energy and renewable energy. And thanks to Dr. Rakibul Hassan for mentoring and guiding these students. You know, IEEE Bangladesh section has owned the MGA Outstanding Large Section Award winner, became the MGA Outstanding Large Section Award winner in 2018. And in terms of number of students, we are top 5 in the world, beside United States, Canada, China, India. So actually, despite having limited opportunities, limited capabilities, we really worked hard to design innovative activities so that our student branches became so active, and we focused on technical skill enhancement. Actually, I want you to listen to Prof. Ashok Dash first. At the end, I will talk something about this with the theme of Ph.D. theme, because I work in artificial intelligence. So I will focus on artificial intelligence in solar energy at the end of my presentation. But what is important for you, that from any talk or for anything, let us try to connect the research with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and let us try to relate your work with one community and find a problem around you, and maybe it is in your campus, and try to provide the technological solutions. And power and energy is one of the most vibrant and most relevant area with which you can really solve those problems. This is my appeal to all of you. So let us go start with Dr. Ashok's presentation. At the end, I will share few things as a brainstorming session for you, so that you can really think about solar energy or clean energy revolution, which is the theme of Ph.D. Thank you, Sanjana. Hope I will be having that opportunity after listening to the presentation of Ashok Dash. Thank you very much.
Now, let us look into the keynote speaker of today's session, Dr. Ashok Dash. He is the founder CEO of SunMoksha Power Pvt Limited. SunMoksha Power Pvt Limited develops and field deploys clean and sustainable technology solutions and provides consultations for rural development and urban sustainability. Their renewable energy services include solar PV and thermal, bioenergy, biofuel, waste to energy, energy efficiency, smart microgrid, and green building domains. Dr. Ashok has worked for Applied Materials in Santa Clara, California for 10 years, developing semiconductor processing equipment before moving to India to head the India operations of a startup Aqueous System in semiconductor fab automation. His specializations include smart microgrid, IoT, cloud, smart irrigation, software development, cyber physical social model development, rural electrification, and socio-economic development, and many more. Now, I would like to request Dr. Ashok Dash to begin his presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Celia, for inviting me here. And thank you, Professor Raikul, for your kind introduction and doing the due diligence of going and checking what SunMoksha does. I really appreciate it. And I understand that, what I'm going to discuss today is an amalgamation of technology and society. Okay. Why do we have technology? The technology's main purpose is to serve society and serve the poorest of the poor as well. So what we have focused at SunMoksha is primarily looking at the underserved and unserved population of the rural India, and I'll show you a rural sector worldwide. Okay, so we have extended ourselves from India to many other countries. So today's talk will be technology driven, but as applied to the rural development across the world. And as Professor Shahnaz said, that we all need to keep in mind how SDGs play into our daily life. So I will also show you show you how we have tried to address multiple of these SDGs in the solutions that we have developed. So, I used to say that India lives in the villages. That is what Mahatma Gandhi said. And since Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan are kind of one large country, united, so I will still say that even Bangladesh lives in the villages. And I took a special conscious effort to go into various parts of, various rural development, various rural areas in India. I come from a rural background. So I started from my home city or home district in Katihar, in Bihar, and have gone all across India to understand what the rural challenges are. And the challenges are numerous. If you look at it, the major challenge that we face is our farmers. They, on one hand, you hear about their suicide because they could not, either they had drought, or they had flood, or they had overproduction, and nobody was there to buy it, so they had to throw it. Why should this happen? How can we tackle this? And on the other hand, you see that the water levels. I wish I updated this with with the map of Bangladesh as well, but I don't think you are in that range that much. But the Kutch and the Pakistan side is really, really dry, and water resources are really becoming scarce all over the world, and especially in the Asian regions. We are all reminded of this situation and will be reminded of this situation forever. At least those who have seen this, who have been here during these times of pandemic. And a lot of migrant workers running home, their livelihoods impacted. Can we do something so that they can be productive and they can live where they stay? They can earn where they live, right? So how do we empower our villagers? How do we empower our rural sector that this kind of situation doesn't arise again? Of course, our children, our next generation, they need a sustainable future. And we are literally tearing the environment and the earth apart with our habits, with our with our way of with our lifestyle, and we hardly care for the earth. And that has resulted in a lot of catastrophes that really impact these little kids in the rural areas more than anybody else. What is their future? Energy is key to all of this. And there is a serious lack of energy, despite saying that, yes, we have electrified, yes, we are doing this. The energy situation is pathetic all across, especially in Asia and Africa. So that is a challenge, to provide access to clean, reliable energy. Where should this energy serve? This is the World Bank tiers of energy access. And many of these efforts are focused around tier 1 and tier 2. Give them lights, give them fans, give them charger. But if we really want to have a development of these rural areas, our villages must get tier 4, at least tier 4 type of energy. Only then we can say that I can do livelihood, I can do productive work, I can use it for something to earn a living. Otherwise, the tier 1, tier 2, and even tier 3 is not going to provide us the kind of energy that is required for the development. And talking of energy, you know that the temperature is rising. And this is the temperature of the Earth in 1884. And this is in 2020. However, if you will see this chart, sorry. If you see this, you will see that the temperature becomes really, the range of the change in temperature is dramatic over the 10 years. Look at this. For the last 10 years, it has been like this, the shades of gray changing. 2020 recorded the warmest year on record. Right? And this is 1 degree above the baseline that was set for us, with a 2 degree being the target where the temperature rise. We cannot tolerate more than 2 degrees rise. We are already halfway there. Can we achieve the 2 degrees? I don't know. Without, especially if we go at the pace that we are going. We all know that the primary reason for this is that our greenhouse gases that get emitted are stopping the heat from going outside. They're trapping the heat. So this is the GHG emission layer. A layer is formed in the atmosphere that that blocks the radiation to go back into the space, and the temperature keeps on increasing. And if you look at where is this GHG emitted, you will see 73% is because of energy. So different kinds of energy, industrial, transport, energy in building. And if you look at the energy, you would see that industry is, of course, the highest, 24%, followed by transportation, followed by buildings. Right? So everything we do contributes to this GHG. The second most component is agriculture, forestry, and land use. We are cutting forest left and right, and that is leading to a lot of these GHG emissions. The temperature rise, it doesn't capture heat. Forests help you cool down the earth, helps the earth cool down, which is not happening because of the deforestation. And agriculture residue, there are many practices in agriculture that needs to change if we need to reduce the GHG emissions. These are the various ways that we have to work on to reduce the GHG emissions. And as you can see, green energy, so these are the various ways, and including we need to work on a couple of energy solutions, some water solution, green building solutions, carbon capture, clean air, waste management, tons of things that needs to be done to make our earth sustainable. And actually this year, at IEEE Bangalore, we have taken it a challenge. So our technology conference that we will do in November would focus primarily on climate technologies. And with the climate technologies, we are going to address these issues, that what are the advances happening in this sector to address the global warming challenge. Right? You will be hearing more about it in future. And I would really recommend, encourage all of you to participate in this and showcase some of the challenges, focus your research in these areas. So what we will do, it is not possible for me to address everything. I just gave another webinar for IEEE on this, and I can send you guys recording, you can look at it. But today I'm going to primarily focus on the renewable energy storage, and energy efficiency.
Yeah.
So renewable energy, you know that there are two things that we need energy for: electricity and heating. And in electricity, you have biomass, biogas, wind, hydro, solar, and fuel cells. And on the heating side, you have biogas, clean cook stoves, natural gas. These are the options for sustainable heating solutions. Once again, we will not focus on this heating component in this talk. We'll focus primarily on the electricity generation and some of the things on the storage, because storage is another area which is becoming a key bottleneck in this sector. So there are various ways to do storage: chemical, thermal, mechanical, and electrical. And I'm not saying that we are going to touch, but these are important for our solutions to take it to the rural areas. Similarly, energy efficiency is important. We have to provide, so none of our installation we do these days, in fact, we have done it from last 6 years when LED was not so prevalent, that we said that we will only go on efficient appliances and efficient lighting in any village that we do. And that helps reduce the amount of energy required. So the generation is reduced and GHG is reduced. And the last, which ties up to the other theme of this talk, is the IoT. So smart grid is a key component to bring sustainable technologies to our homes. And here, the smart grid essentially is to bring efficiency in energy generation, transmission, and distribution. These all three components, contribute to the total energy consumption and GHG emissions. So let's go back to, I just wanted to touch upon that. How do we, as I said, I'll focus primarily on the village and rural. So how do we catalyze the village development? Right? And this is really one of my farmers taught me. He's in Bihar, and I think all of you hopefully understand Hindi, and it's not that difficult. So pani hai to kisan hai, bijli hai to roji hai. So water and energy are life and farmers' life and livelihood. Without that, nothing can prosper, no development can come. So our focus has primarily been on the nexus of the food, water, and energy. So what we do, we have developed technologies for microgrids and irrigation enabled by IoT and cloud. I'll also tell you why we had to choose that and why we felt that IoT and cloud is a key component that needs to be incorporated into my smart energy solutions to make it more sustainable. We really spent many years in the villages and came up with these solutions. We are a practitioner, so we do not do research and develop new things just for the sake of it. Our research is driven by the need, and so we go back and implement those in the villages to benefit the villagers and the society at large. So our focus is primarily on developing of technologies, implementing projects, because the technology is developed for that purpose, And then also developing ecosystem for clean energy and IoT and smart energy in terms of, I mentor many entrepreneurs, we develop tools, we have done a lot of consulting, we work with universities and colleges to develop new solutions and to impart new knowledge to them. So what is our platform? So all of you IoT and cloud and renewable energy enthusiasts should understand and pay a little bit attention here, because this is the foundation for my entire development and the presentation. What we have developed is an IoT controller which communicates to a cloud software directly, or knowing the status of our country and of our region. We know that many places we don't have direct, even internet available. So I have another option of going to a local computer. It could be a server, it could be a small tab, it could be something local, and then communicating to the cloud, as well as providing a mobile app for the end user, to make them, to ease their acceptance of these solutions and ease their life. So what do these components do? As far as my IoT controller is concerned, I can read any energy meter, any water meter, any sensor. I can get data from there, and I can control the flow of electricity, flow of water, and flow of, these controllers to switch on and switch off power, switch on and switch off water delivery. All of that is done by the same controller. So that way, what I have been able to do is that I have been able to accelerate my development by not going into development of these things. I don't need to develop a new meter. I use existing meters and get the data out. I used existing relays and controls to control my energy flow. Similarly, I use existing sensors, etc., to get me data, existing flow meters to get my flow reading, and then control the valves with my controllers. Any sensors, air, humidity, all these controls we have, data we can read. And we can manage the various components of the renewable energy that is being generated in the power plant and send the data here for complete monitoring. So what do we do on the cloud? On the cloud, our main function is dashboards, command center. Main function is actually automation, scheduling, and demand supply optimization. I know when my supply has to be there. I know what my demand has to go, and how do I balance these two? Then, of course, I have billing, payment, tariff, asset management, consumer relations, dashboard, command center. I'll show you what is a command center. It also provides training, and on the other side, analytics and alerts. Because for technical support, this helps me get all the data at my fingertip so that I can provide technical support to the installation, to the end users in the village. So this is my nanogrid that is for electricity management in the village. So we can take any hybrid source of energy, whether it is a grid connected, solar, biomass, biogas, doesn't matter. I take that energy and I distribute into the village. I control the distribution and generation, manage them through my controller. And the mobile app is for the customer service. So our goal is to use meters and sensors with IoT, M2M. There is a lot of machine-to-machine communication as well, and cloud communications and universal protocols. I will show you that my same solution is, without any change, easily implementable in Rwanda. Right? We have done it. It can easily be implemented anywhere in the world. So, but the goal being the right amount of energy at the right location, at the right time. This innovation has won multiple awards. We first won the Smart Village Award. Then we won the Millennium Alliance Award from USAID and DST. Then we won the ISGF Technology Diamond Award for Best Technology Project, Best Smart Grid Technology Project by a technology company. Then we have this water solution. Again, we focused primarily on the farmers. So from that perspective, we take any water supply and distribute the water supply into the field. That is the whole goal. Again, my same controller, my IoT controller, my cloud, a tablet, and mobile, that helps me achieve this. Here I use, again, meters and sensors and valves to monitor, control the water flow. My sensors will tell me how much water do I really need to deliver. So I deliver only that much of water. So those are the kind of sophistication that we're trying to bring into the farming or precision farming sector. Both of these solutions have a remote, sustainable, scalable model built in. That how do I empower? So our goal has been that we will build the solution that my youth in the village can use it. It should be very, very simple interface. So as you can say, this boy, he is the operator in one of the installation. He's only 8th grade pass, but he's able to control and help and run the whole thing, operate the entire microgrid all alone. This is a farmer. He is able to control and manage all his water flow and water distribution through simple interfaces. So we provide that. We provide ongoing technical support and remotely supported by professionals. So since I have data all the time, this is my command center, I can continuously watch what is happening in each of my village and then help them diagnose and tell them what to fix. And the solutions, of course, and so that's why the real-time monitoring of the operations gives me. So on the cloud, information, transparency in operations, so that if I tell you that this person got electricity, I'll show you, yes, he did get it. It's nothing hidden and everything is transparent to the sponsors and any other stakeholder. And it also helps reduce the cost of operations and maintenance. This is what my dashboard will look like. Every village can have a dashboard like this. The street lights are off if they're red, and households are on if they're green. Whatever is green is on, whatever is red is off. So I know that it was daytime, so light should be off. So I am fine. And some of the businesses will be getting power. Not all of them are getting power. So that is also, I know that this is how it should be. What the second one shows is everything is green. It is in the nighttime, and I see one place where there is a big red. So that means the whole DB10 has an issue, and I need to go and address that. A dashboard at the operator's desk and remotely continuously tells me which one is green, which one is red. If there is a green, I don't have to pay any attention. If it's red, you go and pay attention to it. As I said earlier, we train the folks, we train the villagers to run these systems on their own. We do not want to be the custodians forever. We want to empower the villagers so that they can work, they can make their life, they can take their life in their hands, and they can run these systems on their own. We, of course, always handhold and provide technical support to them. As I said, we work with a lot of universities, and here initially we worked with NIST to develop our solutions. Now we are working with COTM to develop our agricultural solution. Here we worked on all smart grid solutions. We work with universities in US to develop cyber physical models for our solutions. And that too, not just to have fun, but I'll show you that we use it to design and guide our installations in the field. Similarly, we work with the Smart Villages group in the UK. And in fact, Kirsten got her Ph.D. studying, working in one of my villages. So that is the kind of involvement we have with students. And as I said earlier, we develop dilemma triangle methods. So to identification of what intervention do I really need to do in the village, that tool is there. Then if I do that intervention, what will happen in the village? So scenario building, that tool we developed. And then after we have implemented, how much impact have I really seen? So social influencing model. So various kinds of models we have developed, and we are continuing to develop in partnership with universities to meet the needs of our implementations in the villages. As I said, students work very closely with us. They go with us to the village. They do surveys. They understand challenges. They know what problem, what is a village development. And actually, we were so pleasantly surprised that two of these students said that we are not going to join Infosys, but we are going to go and start our own business to serve the rural market. And that is the kind of impact that we are looking at. So our solutions have gone to many places. How much time do I have? I hope I have not exceeded too much.
No, sir, you have time at your hands. It's
Okay,
still
perfect.
5:15.
Okay. So another 20 minutes and I'll be done. So this is various implementations we have done in the villages all across India, and one so far in Rwanda. It's Aquanet is our water solution, irrigation solution. Nanogrid is our energy solutions. And microeconomic zone is our third solution, where we create livelihood centers, a cluster of, or CFCs, they call it, common facility centers, where a lot of these microeconomic activities can take place, and villages can feed into that activities. This is another project that we are currently doing in Angul, again in Odisha, where both nanogrid and Aquanet are combined together. Here, Aquanet is required to distribute the water, and nanogrid is required to power the pumps and power my valves, etc. So a combination of the two, smart, so the solar microgrid is powering my irrigation solutions. So this is, I will just walk you through 3 examples, and that would give you the entire flavor of what we are doing. So this is the very first village that we did in Satkosia Tiger Reserve. As you can see in this reserve, there is hardly nobody is going to get electricity ever. So we were the first one to go and provide full 3-phase AC electricity to the villagers. This is a small video that DW News did on this. And you have to just pardon me, I have to share my sound. Okay. Can you hear the sound?
Paradise. The remote
Yes, sir,
village
we can.
located in a tiger reserve is not connected to the electricity grid, cutting off its 600
I cannot hear
residents
any
from the
sound from the
telecom.
video.
Most people here are farmers. They
There is
still
no
follow
sound?
a traditional way of life.
Sir,
But
we do
things
hear
are
the sound.
changing.
Sir, we are
For the
hearing
first
the
time,
sound.
Chhotky's
Okay.
residents have access to electricity provided by this 30 kilowatt solar power plant set up earlier this year. It's part of a green technology project, the brainchild of social entrepreneur Ashok Dash.
We had given them 200 watts.
He's partnered with local authorities to create India's first smart village in Odisha. Ashok's company has developed a smart nanogrid technology that allows the village's entire electrical infrastructure to be monitored remotely by the company's staff. Meters and sensors collect data on energy consumption, making it easy to remotely manage supply and demand. Villagers pay tariffs based on how much energy they use. The company has also trained local youth from the village to monitor the system and detect any faults or overloading. They can even carry out basic repairs on the spot, ensuring the equipment is well maintained and running smoothly. Ashok says the model can be a game changer.
By doing smart microgrid, what we are creating a basic infrastructure we're creating a catalytic infrastructure on which many services will ride. Irrigation will ride, agricultural production will ride, food processing can be done, cold storage can be done, health services will come, tele-education services will come. All
मेंबरशिप
of
पैसे ना
these together
अच्छा है
provide the development of the
ठीक
village.
है सर
Many in the
ना मेल
village are
ओपन करा
sensing
लागतो
new
एबार
opportunities. Shrikant Adavar recently bought a photocopying machine and printer. In a makeshift office, he makes copies of ID cards and land deeds for his customers, as well as takes passport-size photos. It's a crucial service in rural India where citizens need those documents to apply for government loans and open bank accounts. Earlier, people had to travel 50 kilometers to the nearest town to get their documents photocopied. So I thought, now that we have reliable electricity, why don't I provide the services right here? It saves villagers time and money, and I supplement my own income. Existing businesses, too, are seeing the benefits of uninterrupted access to power. As night falls, many can continue to operate. Street vendor Prabhakar Prusti also runs a grocery store. He now plans to invest in a fridge and offer cold drinks to his customers. Since we have electricity, my business has definitely improved. My shop can stay open till late in the night. I get more customers. For most villagers, the biggest changes since electricity arrived are simple. Street lights provide safety from wild animals, a priority in this tiger reserve. A few households have now got television sets, providing entertainment and drawing a large young audience tonight. Some even get to attend a coaching class in the village and do homework in the evening. Power that empowers. There are now plans to replicate Chhotky's smart village model in other Indian states.
So this is the village. This is how it looked before, and this is how it looks after. A lot of activities, a lot of quality of life improvement and economic activities have resulted because of this, right? And as I said, this is because of this we won these 2 awards from the international communities. This is a village in Raigada. It's near Nagaveli River. And you can see that the river goes around this land and comes up. There is no way to get the water to the land. And that was a major challenge that we were facing here, that despite being close to this river, no water, and they used to only do one season, rain-based, rain-fed monocrop agriculture. There was no water for irrigation and farmers' incomes were really limited. And because it was on rocky terrain, it was very difficult to even lift the water from the river. So we had to find other ways to get this water to these communities. Now, another problem was that this is such a small land that and community is small, so they could not afford to go individual bore well, multiple bore wells, so that every farmer gets its own water. So we had to devise a way that I could share water among the farmers. And that is what we did. With one bore well, we developed new solutions, which will allow me to deliver the water to a particular farmer when I give a command that now go deliver this much water to this farmer. What this helped, that of course there is only one solar irrigation pump. Here you all must know that solar pump will continue to pump out as long as there is sun. But then every farmer doesn't need that much water. So if small farmers start to have these solar water pumping, it is a lot of wastage of water. And this is a very scarce, water scarce area. You cannot afford to waste water. Second, not all of them have the means to go and buy these pumps. So what our solution did, one pump shared by 40 farmers almost. They had 7 acres of land. We put one pump there to give so many liters of water. So now what happens, this same water pump, it can keep pumping all day, but then I will be irrigating different farmers throughout the day. So my water is not wasted. Secondly, when I don't need it, I just don't run it. Even if the sun is there, I just don't run it. So my water is saved. And every liter of water is accounted for, and data on water consumption is available for every farmer. And the farmers pay based on the amount of water they have used, not how many hours of water they got. What is the quantity of water that they got, and they pay based on that. So it's a very equitable way of taking farmers to a more sustainable way of irrigation. The impact was really, really huge, and a stark impact from this going to this, and almost 2 to 10x increase in their income, because they really did not do any much irrigation, any much agriculture. But after they started getting water, they have increased, around the year agriculture, around the year cultivation, and have significantly increased their income. One very interesting observation we saw, because we were monitoring the water, that during the pandemic, we saw that the amount of water use increased. And then we went and asked what happened. So they told us that many people returned from the city because they don't have anything else in the city to do. They said they will go back to farming and earn their income that way. So this does prove our point that if you provide enough infrastructure and enough, and the right kind of a solution in the village, people will come back and they have no need to go to the cities for livelihood. This is an island, again on Mahanadi River. It will never get electricity, grid electricity, because of the river. You see both sides, it has river, and pipes, the electricity pole can never reach here. This is how their life used to be before. And in every rainy season, it completely gets flooded, and boat is the only way for us to reach there. And we have taken boats many times to go there because we had to finish the installation and we had to do all the work there. So it was a very challenging village, but it was very fulfilling as well, because we took it, we had we created a solar power plant serving these households and a vast agricultural land. The first step was give them lights and give them power. So we have finished that. Then we realized that for the water irrigation, we tried we put a lot of effort to find water, but there is no water on the island. So we have to now push the water from the river. So we are working on another proposal, another project to make the water available on the island so that they can do more agriculture and improve their livelihood. This is the one installation that won us the Best Smart Grid Project Award by the ISCF. This is the third model, and this is again work in progress for a long time, by the way. We signed the MOU in 2017 with the Jharkhand government and Kala Mandir, our local partner, to develop a smart panchayat which consists of 14 villages, 11,000 households, 1,100 households, and very highly poverty, 80% of the people below poverty line. So a very typical village or very typical scenario in India. So what we are doing there is we have taken a wasteland and converted that wasteland into a hub of microeconomic activities. Each of these microeconomic activities has been decided and agreed upon based on the local need. And each of these activity or businesses will be run by local entrepreneurs as business. So we have nothing to do with it. We are just enabling, we're making it all happen together. And what we are going to do is two things. One is provide market linkage. So the Kalam and their local partner has a shop in the city. So that provides a market linkage to the market for everything that we produce here in excess. Of course, there is first thing it gets consumed locally, except services like health and bank that we are providing for the local people. But everything else can go out and fetch them more income. And we provide energy through the nanogrid so that there is an uninterrupted power supply available for these businesses to run and not depend on the grid, grid availability to do their business. This is not enough. We have also done smart aquanet in the same panchayat, because in the villages we need to have many activities. So all the 14 villages around that will have solutions like aquanet and other appropriate solutions to increase their agricultural output, increase their livestock's output, increase their NTFP activities, so they can collect leaves throughout the village, but it will be processed in the center. So there is economies of scale to make that happen. And by the way, all of this remotely monitored IoT on the cloud, right? This is a combined project with Jharkhand government and Kalamandir, and that is still in the implementation, in the final phases of implementation. So what, I would like to share that what is our vision. So our vision really is driven by this old man. All of you, many of you know him as a nuclear scientist and as the president of India. But I know him as the author of Target 3 Billion, where he defines how village development should be done. The model called Pura, provision of urban amenities in rural areas, is a fantastic model that he has proposed. And that is our role model, and that is our basic premise on which SunMoksha works to develop this entire smart Pura community or smart Pura village, to target various areas and various infrastructure that is required to make the villages self-sufficient. Recently, I happened to meet the co-author, Srijan Pal Singh, and he was at the Lucknow, at the Abdul Kalam University. And he was pleasantly surprised that there is someone who is following the book he wrote. And I'm pretty sure if Dr. Kalam was here, I would have gone and shown him what and how we are trying to implement his vision of Pura village. So this is our way that we think the development can happen. We start with, irrigation and agriculture is a low-hanging fruit. And we can start with that, keep on increasing the agricultural activities. Once you have enough to do, then you may need a cold room, you may need some food processing to stop wastage and increase value. Eventually, we may need to develop the microeconomic zone and create market linkage. And from there on, we move on to the smart village. And ultimately, the Gram Swaraj that all our fathers of nations, all three of country, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, they all know what Gandhi did for us and what his vision was for a village. So we really want to see how we can implement that vision. We have found that our solutions are equally applicable and the challenges are equally, daunting in other nations as well. So I have personally been to many African countries, and we have started our venture or implementation from Rwanda. And my next goal is to even go back to the US and help the Native American reservations, which are in as much of a poverty and problem as our Indian villages. So this is the last one, which I want to talk to you about, how we are trying to look at the SDGs. So our theory of change from the SDG perspective. And our theory of change says that I must focus on sustainable livelihood, decent work, and economic growth. If I can tackle this, if I can address this problem, then I know I can address poverty, hunger, education, health, equality. Because once you and I become economically sound, we will be able to take care of these. Equality will prevail. Why today there is, so poverty and hunger, economic problem is one of the reasons for these problems. So if I solve this economic problem, a bunch of other problems can be automatically taken care. How we do it? We will use sustainable means of solutions, sustainable solutions to achieve that. And they will be anchored in SDGs 6, 7, 9, and 12. So our solutions are anchored in those SDGs to meet the SDG 8 goals. Now, why this? Because all of this solution must be anchored, must be taking care of the planet. So 13, 14, and 15 are the founding principles of the solutions that we will use so that this is not compromised. Once you do that, we need partnerships. We need local partnerships. We need international partnerships. And as I have already shown you that we have done both levels. We go and work with the local partners. We work with the villagers to make sure that sustainability comes for the solutions. And we are also working with our international partners to develop new solutions, to find new ways to serve these communities. Now, this process is not linear. You need to intervene, see some difference, and then go back, make another intervention, go back, make another intervention. The community has to go through multiple phases to eventually grow into a sustainable community. And only then peace and justice will prevail on this earth. So this is our theory of change. We anchor our solutions, intervene with the right kind of solutions, keeping a focus on economic development and this achieving the outcomes and the impact that we are looking at as an overall sustainable development goal. I think I have already mentioned, we have gotten a lot of awards and recognition from various government and non-government authorities, and that has led to a variety of media coverage that we have received for our solutions and the way that we are seeing development. So this is my, our final slide. That we want to empower lives and catalyze the development. We are not saying that we will do the development. We are here to catalyze. And I must quote these two last comments, is that in two different villages. One village said, after SunMoksha had come, I have hope now. That is a big statement. Once you have hope, you can achieve anything. You can do wonders. And we are really very satisfied that it brings hope to them so that the community can go and take care of itself and look after it. As I said, our interventions are generational. The impact is generational. Even though I'm doing it for the current generation, but look at her, what she's thinking. She wants See, she told me to one of my employees, female employees, that I want my grandchildren to become like you so that they can come and help. So everybody thinks of the next generation. So when you do these interventions, you have to be patient. You may not see all the results in our lifetime, but be sure, be assured that the next generation and the generation after that will benefit quite a bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok sir. That was a very insightful session on your half and an eye-opener for us as well, because we do have the need for such projects in our country as well, and we do have the resources like solar and biomass, but we don't really see these projects going on in our country despite having capable engineers as well. So it's really an eye-opener for us and shows that we might have scope for such projects too. So before we conclude your session and move on to Celia ma'am, I would like you to answer some questions sent in by the students. That's okay with me. Okay, sir, I will be reading them out for you. So the first question is, what type of educational background is necessary for demonstrating this kind of project in our country? I think he means what type of people do you recruit to implement these projects?
Two kinds, two qualities are very important in those people when we recruit and when we go and talk to, students. First, you must have compassion. You must understand what you're going to do. You must be compassionate with the challenges that the other side has. Unless you understand their problem, you will not be able to do much. I have gone, we are now old, quite old. And I used to study in the kerosene lamp, right? We have gone through these challenges of village issues. And that is why I decided that I'd go back to my village and see what I have done for the village that I come from, right? So compassion, understanding of our people, understanding and realizing that there is a need for you in those places. Second, perseverance, good attitude and perseverance. That yes, I will do it. There are challenges. No, do you think that all of this you have seen is a success in a minute? No, we had many failures, right? We went through many challenges. We went through many iterations to finally come up with the final, way how development should be done. Now we even have defined a rule that how village development needs to be done. And with the university professors, we are publishing quite a bit. So you can go to my website and see all the publications that we have done. And our goal is to spread the knowledge, not to keep it to ourselves. Spread the knowledge. If someone feels that they want to go and do it, we are here to help them. We are here to say, okay, here are my solutions. Here is my knowledge. Here is my experience. Let's go and do it in your country or in your place. Right? So I do have I have been quite a bit aware of Bangladesh and what is happening out there. And I do know that these solutions are equally needed there. But maybe today would be the beginning that someone will come and say, okay, I'll bring it to Bangladesh.
Yes, sir. So I'll move on to the next question now. So what is the main renewable source that are being used in these rural areas? Is it biomass or solar that is more feasible?
Both. Both are feasible. And actually, I believe a combination is the best. See, you all have to realize that energy during daytime, sun is freely available. Sun energy is available, you can use it. So why not use the sun energy when it is the best? Daytime. In the evening, what we have to do now, we have to store. And I told you that battery storage, there are a lot of storage technologies coming up. But the best storage is the fuel, the biomass, right? It's right there. You just, whenever I need it, I use it. So from my perspective, it is, and the way we build the smart grid is to optimize these sources based on the time and the demand. So if you look at the demand pattern, you would realize that daytime, there is a lot of demand if there is a productive work. Let the sun work for it. Let the solar panels work for it. Let solar supply all this electricity and store only a little bit of amount for late night. The evening can be done with biomass gasifier or biogas. These are the two readily available energy storage systems that you can fire on the go in a minute and start up generating energy. So from my perspective, solar, biomass, and battery. Battery in the night, and night you cut down the loads. Nobody can use more than certain amount so that you reduce the size of the battery that you need. So the real future is multi-generation or multi-source renewable energy with very smart microgrid or smart grid to manage the demand and supply.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the next question is, are these projects, are they government funded or are they private based? And are these projects thoughts of a group idea? How demanding are the projects based on both physical strength, financial, technical, and ability to cooperate with the local farmers? I think he means how successful are these in terms of financial gains?
So 5 questions in one. All right.
Yes, he wrote all the questions in one.
Yeah, 5 questions in one. That's, first of all, most of our projects so far has been CSR projects. We have not done any government project except the one that I showed you in Katashol, where we're developing the microeconomic zone. It has been a very daunting experience to work with the government. It's not easy, especially if we go with innovations or new solutions, because government tries to work within the schemes and the usual process is tendering, etc., etc. Technologies cannot be done like that. So I cannot afford to go and bid against a big guy who has a run-of-the-mill solution, whereas my solution has a different innovation in it. So that is a challenge. However, we are working with the government to see that these innovations can be brought into their schemes. And some of them did help us, like the Jharkhand case, to bring in some innovations and give some innovation funding. The village, buy-in from the village is very important. We are all techies, so we think that if you have a cool solution, anybody will take it. No, that doesn't happen. Your solution may be cool, your solution may be hot, but they want only what they need. Okay? If it doesn't meet the requirement, they will not take it. So community engagement is a big process for us. We do a lot of community engagement. We spend some time on engaging in the community, understanding their need, and then tailoring the solution based on their needs. You cannot just say that this is my solution, I take it. No. What they need, and then make your solution adapt so that it provides the need of that community. And not only that, you need to be an inside-out person, inside-out perspective rather than an outside-in perspective. Village development, community development is very, very inside-out perspective. We have to go become one of them. So for example, wherever we go, especially whenever I go to the village, I make sure that I stay there in the night and the evenings. Well, that is where you really get to understand the village dynamics. You get to understand people, you talk to them informally. And during this informal discussion is what the reality comes out. A formal discussion, a group discussion, it's just what they want to say, not what they really are. Right? So these are some of the tricks and tips that we use when we go to the village, engage them, and continuously keep hand holding them. That is the other component that is very important. I'm not selling a product that I gave you toothbrush or toothpaste and now I'm gone. No, I'm giving them energy. Energy is a service. I'm giving them water. It is a service. It is a utility. So you have to be continuously working to make sure that your service delivery is reliable and it meets the requirement.
Okay, sir. So we'll be moving on to the last question on your behalf. So how do we tackle the aspects of maintenance and waste management? Because even solar panels do need management because of dust accumulation. And after their lifespan, which is about 25 years, they do need to be properly disposed of. So have you thought of anything in those terms?
Maintenance is a key component, and we have integrated that component uh, into our solution from day one. So from day one, I wish I had, we make sure we have water for panel cleaning. We train the operators that, hey, every week the dust has to be removed, right? So there is water, there is a cleaning process, solar can be taken. If it is a biomass, every week there is a maintenance process. So they have to go through that maintenance process to make sure that we are not falling behind and running into trouble next, in a few days. The second thing that we do is we put pyranometers and other sensors. That sensors continuously tell me what is the current status and how much my generation should be. If my generation is falling behind, actual generation is falling behind my theoretical calculation, then I know there is something wrong. And more than likely, we have rectified, it is the dust on the solar panels. It accumulates and it reduces your efficiency. And that you can easily monitor and easily rectify or easily identify through the remote monitoring systems that we have, right? And that is why we designed this whole smart component and cloud and IoT to make sure that we do O&M properly. Operations maintenance are our key. On the life cycle of the products, yes, there is a problem. We are going to hit 25 years very soon now, since the whole mass adaptation of solar panels went into the countries, into the world. And that is where you would also see that many of the new solutions that are being brought in, see, especially the silicon wafer technology is very, very recyclable. It's dopant and, and your solar panels are not very highly technical circuits, very simple circuits, and that can be handled. The problem was with, say, cadmium telluride, new technologies, thin film technologies, and many of these thin film technologies are banned now. It has gone from the earth. The only other one which is still being worked on is the cadmium telluride by First Solar. And First Solar has declared its life to be 10 years, and after 10 years, they are going to take it back and recycle it. So the world is already working on those recycling methods and technologies. We all are aware there is nothing much has been developed so far. And as we near the life of the first round of these panels, I'm sure a lot of things will come out. And maybe that is a good topic for you, whoever asked this question, to work on, that how do I recycle? How do I recycle these renewable technologies, right? And that is a very important part. And waste management, so biogas, bio-waste, like we try to see that how we can, by the way, villagers don't have much waste, believe me or not, villages are much more cleaner. All the waste problem is in the cities. And that is where I see more challenge. So from village perspective, I am not worried about, any waste being a challenge. And any bio-waste, they are very good at converting into fertilizers and converting into biogas. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for this insightful session. I believe all the questions have been answered. If you don't mind, I will be moving on to Celia ma'am before I close this session. So now I'm going to Celia ma'am. I believe Celia Shahnaz ma'am needs no introduction. All of us know her already. She's a professor at the IEEE Department of BUET. She's also the chair of IEEE Bangladesh and IEEE PES Women and Power Representative of the entire Region 10. So ma'am is here as a guest speaker today, and she also helped specially in arranging this webinar. It would not have been possible without her. So without further ado, I give the floor to Celia ma'am.
You should know that Celia ma'am and I are also part of IEEE Smart Village working group, South Asia working group, and that is how she caught me. Or actually, I volunteered. She was looking for someone, and I said, "Well, I can talk. This Sunday, so what?" So thank you, Celia.
Great honor. Yeah, Dr. Ashok, is a great honor. And I was working and listening to you, and I have listened to your video speech before. I thought that whatever I got opportunity in my life, I should bring that back to my community, because I had the opportunity to meet you in different committees. But what about my students? That's the actually vision with which I'm always working. I'm really happy that previously it was 1% of Bangladesh who listened to you, and now there are a lot of people who could learn from you. And this is the way of, I should say, dissemination of knowledge from generation to generation. Thank you for your kind presence, Sanjana. We are actually passing through Happy Ramadan, and our fast breaking time is firstly moving closer. So I'll be very fast, okay? Because let me share the screen very quickly. I hope you can see this screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, so where is that? Okay. Actually, it is a very important thing. Sometimes we do many typical things, solar energy, typical lectures, but I really wanted to get you in touch with someone who will really give you some essence that how you can contribute using your knowledge, and how you can reshape people's life. That is very important, because in Bangladesh, in majority cases, actually I'm a professor in a highest ranked engineering university where students are studying at free of cost for 4 years, and they're going to MIT, Berkeley, Stanford. But this is something in Bangladesh, we teach everything almost free. So this is very important to give back to the community from the lessons we have learned. As Dr. Ashok said, I will really, we work in IEEE Smart Village South Asian Working Group. It's an amazing opportunity to know these talented volunteers, passionate volunteers that Dr. Ashok said, that compassionate. Engineering, technology, what is important and what is missing in us. It is our passion to serve the community, which is very important to implement it, to make this project successful. Otherwise, proposal is there, funding is there, technology is there, it will never be implemented. And for kind information of Dr. Ashok and Sanjana, in solar industry, Bangladesh has done, I should say, revolution compared to what happened in last 10 years back. If you just Google it, you will find a lot of things. And in terms of agriculture also, we didn't buy a single rice from outside. We grow and we feed our own people. Our agriculturist has done a revolution. They are our silent heroes. Now, as an engineer and technologist, it is our job to help them to use technology. And they are now using technology, but we have a lot of scopes to use more technology to have more efficiency, more sustainability, and more productivity. This is my Google Scholar citation. I will request you just to let you know that despite limited opportunities, limited funding, limited PhD students, because we we inspire all our students to have a PhD from United States, as Dr. Ashok was also United States. My brother is also a professor in United States. It's important, and I finished my PhD from Canada and dared to come back, and I never regret it. I still feel that I did the best job to give back to the community. And this is the picture of power of networking. It's very important with connected people. This is the first PES day in 2018 when I was a section chair, and I called all PES chapters and PES ambassadors together, bonded together, and ran this human chain. It's a human chain of student, undergrad student, postgrad student, industry experts, sponsors, our advisors, so that we can really utilize the opportunities that we can offer to each other, that Dr. Ashok said, disseminate the information to all. This is very important to this networking. Since I serve in IEEE PES Women in Power, I will request you, many of the female are PES member, but they are not part of Women in Power. Please visit our website and go to that website and click Join Women in Power. And every month you are getting PES e-news. Please read them to know what are the role models are doing, what is going on in region 9, Argentina, Brazil, Africa, everywhere, so that you can learn the good practices. From there, I came to know the factors controlling the future trends in fetch resource, energy storage and integration of renewables, distributed generation, and hybrid model of grid, data-driven technology, and cybersecurity. When I started working in machine learning, I really didn't know that it will give me an opportunity to work in the third topic, data-driven technologies and cybersecurities. And you know about these clean energy sources and utilize how our country is utilizing renewables using solar technology for irrigation. That's why our farmers have done a great job. And we have both renewable energy, non-renewable energy. Like our government is investing a lot of money for nuclear energy education and nuclear power plant. Our first nuclear power plant is in progress, and we are planning our next nuclear power plant. This is very important to develop those skills to contribute to our economy. And these are different alternative utilization of energy, like using your mat, using something that is near your community, and using pattern recognition and machine learning. I did a very interesting work thanks to my students. That is the electrical network frequency, ENF, how to capture it. Actually, when you record an audio near an electrical power means that electrical network frequency will be captured in the audio record. And this is due to interference from electromagnetic fields and originating from the power sources. And this how the ENF looks. These are the ENF look from 9 different grids. They look different, but it is our job to give automatic recognition of this grid locations so that it can serve as a location fingerprint. Because when you go to the airport, you give your fingerprint for identification. Similarly, for data-driven technology and cybersecurity in the smart power system, in the SCADA, you really need to identify the EF from the ENF, that from the person speaking from the which grid, because there is a variation which are considered to be uniform for a particular grid, and there are variations separable from grid to grid. And deep learning has made it possible to really help researchers like me to identify the ENF and find the location of the speaker from where he or she is sending the message. And this is now the artificial intelligence for sustainable cities and communities. That is our SDG 7. And from SDG 11, SDG 7, sustainable and clean energy, that is very much related to our PSD theme, clean energy revolution. This AI companies are utilizing from the left picture, you can see the renewable energy, right? In the right, you can see the connectivity, internet, cloud, mobile, and in between, you can see the AI, how our companies, utilities are leveraging AI to harness the power of renewable energy. We are actually, because I'm working with the city mayor, North City Corporation, Dhaka mayor, to launch a smart city initiative in Bangladesh, where it is very important to ensure home automation, lighting control, office automation, remote maintenance, security surveillance, digital media center, car parking system, where if we depend on the grid, it is will be totally impossible because our country is targeting electricity for all. So only solution, or a very good solution, will be the renewable energy. You know, this has been implemented in China, that it is a garbage sorting bin. It is very possible. You can start for your campus, you know, garbage sorting bin powered by solar energy, but it has been controlled by artificial intelligence. It's not very difficult. You really do not need to have a PhD to do it. You just need some idea and good practices to implement this. And why artificial intelligence is a game changer for renewable energy? Because artificial intelligence, it can do the frequency regulation. It can optimize power plant performance. It can classify power disturbance classification. In 2014, one of my students have been graduated on a topic, the application of machine learning and artificial intelligence for power disturbance classification. And that has given her an opportunity to get a PhD admission in North Carolina State University in Freedom Lab. And now she is working in ABB USA. So we have to actually bring them back at least online to get training from them. So artificial intelligence has the ability to unlock the vast potential of renewables. It has the capabilities to lead, improve demand forecasting and asset management. This is very, very important for an economic business model for companies to run. The automatic and then automation capability of AI can drive operation excellence in many crucial cases. So I give you some examples which you can implement, and you can do research, you can publish papers, and you can serve your community. Artificial intelligence can help you to measure or to optimize the solar panel tilt angle. This is very important for us to do this automation for efficiency enhancement. And also, there are miles after miles solar panel. How you will monitor them? It is humanly not possible. But even if it is possible, it's time consuming and not cost effective for a country like Bangladesh. You know, that's why we are slowly approaching towards monitoring solar panels using machine learning techniques, where most of the companies like ABB, Australia, those have already adopted AI for, and Africa, look at Africa, it's very important. They are applying machine intelligence from the map to identify what is the best site for renewable energy. This is a case in Nigeria. This is very important for us. And now talk about Europe. In the Swiss scientists, what they're doing, they are developing machine learning because there are a lot of I should say automatic and comfortable devices in their life: freeze, air conditioners, microwave, cooker, washing machine. But if they depend on grid, then the utility bill will be very high. So they are hugely using machine learning algorithm to optimize that when they will use the grid and when they use the solar, and how much they can have for storage based on some data. There are a set of input data is required, such as weather, load profiles, tariffs, physical properties, and component cost. This is very, very important. And every household, everybody has a minimum knowledge. It is a technical skill enhancement of the whole nation if you embrace this. And let us talk about another industry. You may know about IBM. IBM Lab has set up this 3 generation of cloud camera to find what is happening, and for IBM Solar Forecasting technology. This is not very tough. You start with your rooftop and to really monitor what's happening, and so that you really have a forecast, because without forecasting, you cannot know when there will be no sun, what will happen. So it is very important to forecast and to predict accordingly, to control the users accordingly. And I recently revisited shipbuilding company or shipyard to develop a lab for them. But I found that there are a lot of cranes, and those cranes are manually controlled. But you see, this is a picture where those cranes and those cranes are taking power from the grid. Huge power is needed, the substation requirement is needed, a lot of things are needed. And here you can see that crane is controlled by solar energy, and it is automatically controlled by AI. It's not manual control. So it is not taking out our jobs, it's making our employees more skilled. So this is a wrong idea. If AI is introduced, our jobs will be lost. And now think about this very amazing. We really are interested in Bangladesh. There are a lot of robotics enthusiasts. IoT has this university student branch has a robotics enthusiast, but you can see, you can apply your drone technology for inspection of the solar panels. It's a really huge solar panels, how you will do it. And it is shown that there is a 46% reduction in the cost if you use drone technology for inspection. Look at the right side. You know, this wind tower, wind panel so tall, you know, there is a 75% reduction of man hours and turbine downtime if you really go for this drone inspection. This is just a schematics picture that how AI, artificial intelligence, are helping you and making renewable energy smarter, because you see the graph, the production efficiency is increased with low cost. This is very important. Now, think about the robots. In Bangladesh, there is a robot came that has given serve food to the modern cafe. But, you know, we are suffering from COVID, and now we really need robot to send medicine to the patients, you know, because our nurses, our doctors may not feel comfortable to do the doctor. Some of them are throwing medicine. It happens in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, everywhere. So we need robots now, but who will charge those robots? The grid is impossible. So it is time to use our solar energy to charge those robots. But who will run those robots? It is the artificial intelligence who will tell the robot that now you need charging. So these are some examples how IEEE is supporting the humanity. IEEE PES and IEEE Humanitarian Activity Committee supports a lot of LED solar light installation for the rural community. And see about this. This is a support from IEEE Humanitarian Activity Committee for women empowerment. Our women and our girls can be taught not as a part of big solar panel, but at least a small solar panel to support and support an LCD monitor or a computer screen in a underprivileged community, in a school or a community clinic, to preserve insulin in a freeze. This is very important to give them that value. And this is this is Power and Energy Society President, Frank, has really mentored these Georgia Tech students. They have implemented an electrical power, a hybrid microgrid system for Haitian Health Center. We may not do such big thing, but every small thing can sum up with a big thing. And this is the example of IEEE Smart Village with whom I'm really proud to be part of. And they provide a lot of support, energy to the schools, fan, clean water, agricultural, street lights. And please Google it, visit, and if you want to volunteer, reach out to them. And we are very inclusive community. We need volunteers. This is our very own. It is made in Bangladesh. This is a solar ambulance, because majority of our states in district level, they're so narrow, the big ambulance may not go there. How to carry a senior citizen, how to carry a pregnant woman. So this is the example how using the need of the community, you really design something that can help the community. And this is from Madras, my friend Angelina. You can see we are with Bay of Bengal. A lot of fishes are waste because if we do not have any. Every home has Bangladesh has improved a lot for sanitation, for toilet. And if I go to the World Bank, the ranking of Bangladesh in those sectors is so high. I feel proud. But like toilet and like sanitation, by like tubal, every home near Bay of Bengal should have a solar panel supported storage system so that those fishes are not lost. Even those boats really need solar panel installation. Our people are doing, but we need more. And also when the fishes are coming back, we can empower our women by using a solar powered tuk-tuk so that they can vendor the fishes in the community. We have a very inclusive community. So these are the examples and projects on which you can work. At least we can work on automatic hand sanitization and artificial intelligence control, automatic hand sanitizer kit in your campus. At least we can do it. And many students in Bangladesh are doing it. So these are some examples of last Ph.D. webinars, the way we connected our scholars around the world to our student community, our young professional, our women in engineering. And that's why I got the opportunity also contribute my research in rest of the part of the world like Bangalore, Madras, and other. And last PES Day was started with my webinar when I was one of the panelists. I really focused on how we can involve ourselves in PES through humanitarian technology-based activities. I've just given you some examples so that you can brainstorm and rethink it. This is IEEE PES Feminine Power website. You can join our Facebook group and LinkedIn group and find your mentors. And I truly believe we can change the world because we are engineers, we are technologists. But one thing is that never think you are small and never doubt your readiness. Feel free, and always your country can be small, your state can be small, your village can be small. What is not small, that is your merit, your passion, your drive to help people. So let us work hard to really embrace emerging technology and to really create solar energy or clean energy revolution to support our community. Thank you for your patience in this last moment. And I just shared so that we can work together for you. For if you need any help, please let me know. I'm always there to support you. And Dr. Ashok, hope we can work in Bangladesh with your expertise. We have a lot of expert. It's important to bridge the gap and bring together, because we are all working individually. We really need a common, and we don't want to start from the scratch and reinvent the same wheel. It is very important to use the resources and expertise so that we can grow together. Thank you, Dr. Ashok. Thank you, Sanjana. And thank you, Dr. Rakib. And thank you, our student branch chair, Ahmad. Thank you.
Thank you,
Collaboration
Celia
is the
ma'am.
key.
So since iftar time is fast approaching, before we close, I would like to ask everyone to turn on their camera for 30 seconds, at least those of you who can, so we can take a quick snapshot.
And we need to stop sharing, then it will come.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So let us know, Inan, when the picture is taken.
Someone would say cheese.
Cheese.
Inan, are you doing anything? Or we are
Yes, sir.
just...
Yes, yes. Sir, I think it's done, sir.
Oh, it's done.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that you have to say ready because we were moving.
Inan, take again.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
You know, at least you say cheese, or I'm taking the snap.
Yes, sir.
Where are you? I can't see you. You know.
I can
Sir,
see
I am,
now.
sir, I am here, sir.
I think you are in another page in my screen.
Sir, it's done, sir.
Okay.
You have taken, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tagore sir,
Dr.
would you like
Ashok,
to?
it should not be the only one webinar. It's just a beginning.
Yes, definitely.
I
We
look
expect all
forward
of
to
your
that
kind
too.
presence in an upcoming webinars, and
Sure,
hopefully
sir.
we'll invite you.
It should not be just webinar. In fact, I am a man of action. So I want to work with professor. I want to work with students.
Yes, we will be happy. We'll be happy to work with you. We'll contact you, inshallah. So we'll be working
Definitely.
together.
That is the spirit.
Yes.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you,
Take
Dr.
care.
Ashok Das sir, and thank you, Celia ma'am. It was your time and effort, and we really hope that we will be working hard to implement our ideas such that we have our fantastic projects like SunMoksha in Bangladesh also.
Sure.
And Celia ma'am, please send my regards to Dr. Fatta sir.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'm pretty sure everyone is very hungry by now. So we'll be ending
It's the
session.
sacrifice, test of patience, test of sacrifice.
I thought you were going to serve tea and coffee right now.
Virtual cuisine, no problem.
Sir, we
We
hope
wish
you
we
can
could do
visit our
that.
country.
Next
We'll
time,
be-
whenever you'll visit Bangladesh, definitely,
Yes,
definitely.
yes,
You are
yes.
invited in my country and in my university, in our universities.
Okay.
So
So
you'll
Bye.
get a lot more than coffee.
Okay.
Sanjana, if you have any e-certificate, send Dr. Ashok by email, no problem. You know, it's just a token of appreciation.
Of course,
Oh,
ma'am.
that's
we'll
not a
send it to all
problem.
our
No
speakers,
problem.
Of course.
Of course, sir. And we
It's
will
my
also
pleasure to
send
be
you
here.
the banner which you asked for my email in my email.
No
I
problem.
will send
No
you
problem.
right away.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Rakib and everyone.
Assalamu
Bye.
alaikum, ma'am.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Bye. Take care, stay safe. See you again.
See you again.
take
Bye.
care. See you again. Sanjana.